We're back and continuing our discussion of autism. For this final segment, we'll be examining one way that LaSalle has connected to external partners to extend the understanding of autism. From Green Tree Partnerships, Dr. Tom Latus, Dr. Eric Mitchell, and Ms. Zanetta Moore Driggers will be joining us. Let me start with you, Tom, to ask for some explanation of Green Tree Partnerships, the kind of resources that you offer, and the kind of networking that's provided.
Okay. Green Tree School is in Germantown, and it's a special needs school for children with autism and other special needs. And one of the divisions of Green Tree School is Green Tree Partnerships. And Green Tree Partnerships provides outreach. We do training, professional development for teachers and for people working in after-school programs, residential programs. We offer conferences like the conference with LaSalle on autism. The other thing we do is consultation. So schools or other agencies might call us in and say, help, help. Right. We have a particular child who we're trying to figure out. And then we also do ongoing consultation in schools. There's a charter school in Philadelphia with a lot of kids on the spectrum where we do a considerable amount of consultation.
Now, Tom, do you just work in the city or do you extend out from that?
No, we work in the greater Philadelphia area.
Okay, all right. And how would people access you?
Well, they can go to our website, which is probably the best way. It's www.gtpartnerships.org.
Right, okay. Thank you so much. Now, Eric, tell us about your role there and then your experiences with children with autism, and you can focus in on the strengths of these children.
Sure. I wear several hats at Green Tree. One of the initiatives that we have is what we call a wraparound program, which provides intensive services to children on the autistic spectrum. We specialize only with children on the autistic spectrum. And this program affords the children usually access to a one-to-one professional who's been specially trained through a 40 or so hour autism training program on a yearly basis. And supervised by a behavior specialist with specific experience on the autistic spectrum, working with families and individuals. I also oversee some of the services across the rest of the school as well. The autism classrooms and the Asperger's classrooms that are there, as well as some consultation with the early intervention program, which has a significant population of autistic students as well. We are very active in promoting development of the current services that we offer, as well as branching out and looking at new avenues in providing services for children and families across this region affected by autism. When families are first met with the news that their child may have some developmental delays, often culminating in a diagnosis of autism. We call that the autism bomb. That really
That's
blows
well
a family.
described. Yeah.
Really blows a family apart in a figurative sense. That their dreams and aspirations of what they once held for their child are not what they once were. That creates a type of a grieving process, if you will, and until that process is resolved, it's very difficult to see the strengths, the positive aspects of what it means to be on the autistic spectrum. But at the other side of that process has a great deal of hope holds a great deal of hope for families, and in those on the spectrum themselves. One of the things that we do is in our vocational training is we try to emphasize what the strengths might be. If most people are familiar with the movie Rain Man, a kind of stereotypical image of what a strength might be. But although this is an extreme example, stereotypes are born out of truth. to some extent, and each individual on the spectrum brings to the table a set of unique gifts that they can offer. The question is, can we be sensitive enough to parse out those gifts and to develop them into functional fixations that really work for that individual, and will create a sense of purpose and meaningful direction in their lives, for a sense of happiness and fulfillment. And
Sure.
what more can we ask for our children?
Right.
Really.
So you provide a lot of services for the entire family then?
Yes.
So when the parents are going through this phase of the autism bomb, you are right there by their sides providing psychological counseling?
Absolutely. Our mobile therapists, as well as our outpatient therapy department, provide some great expertise and resources for families as they're going through the process. Families are able to reach out whenever they need that support, not just during regular business hours, but
Right.
after school, weekends, and so on, when they're being hit the hardest in their daily lives.
Okay. And Zanetta, would you tell us, thank you so much, Eric. Zanetta, will you tell us your connection with Green Tree, and then the advocacy that you're involved in right now, how you got there?
Okay. I'm involved with Green Tree because they provide behavioral support services to my son, who's on the spectrum. I've been involved with Green Tree now for about 5 years. They've been a tremendous asset to our family. We have had the same team of people working with us for the entire time. My son has had the same TSS worker, one-to-one, for the entire time we've been with Green Tree. So it's been a great comfort to us to have that continuity and someone that my son has become accustomed to and knows very well. So we have had a very great experience with Green Tree, and we're very fortunate because unfortunately not all agencies can provide that same level of service and that same continuity. So we've been very pleased with how things are going. And with respect to my advocacy role, I've come to understand that families often are not aware of what their rights are for their children, particularly with respect to the educational services that they are entitled to receive. So I'm an attorney. I've been practicing law for 15 years almost, and I recently decided to make my practice a very strong focus on educational advocacy, helping parents in that process with working with schools, and hopefully in a very collaborative way with the schools so that things don't escalate into contention. So helping families to understand what their rights are, what they are allowed to request from schools, what they can expect, and helping them to figure out that process and help the children to get what they need in school.